New Orleans Saints are 3-10, and quite frankly, it's not awesome, but there are reasons for optimism. And I'm going to explain why here on Saints Now by Chat Sports. My name is Trizzy Trace Girouard. No matter where you are or where you're tuned in or how you're watching, we appreciate you for making us a part of your day. I think Demario Davis sums it up perfectly when he said this to media recently after the win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Nobody wants to be 3-10, but not all 3-10s look the same. What I mean by that is nobody wants to be in adversity. Nobody wants to be in a storm. Nobody wants to be in situations where things aren't going the way you want them. But you can either lay down in those times or you can show up. And I think that that's what the New Orleans Saints are doing at this point in their rebuild. They're not laying down. They're not giving up. They're showing up. They're making a fight. And they're at least giving you a reason for optimism. And I think that the future is very bright in New Orleans. And I think when you take a look at the entire roster and where they are in their rebuild and what they could potentially do this season and the future and in the offseason, I think that there's a lot of reasons for us Saints fans to be really, really excited. I want to tell you why here. 5 reasons in just 1 second. 4 reasons, actually. 4 reasons here in just 1 second. But first things first, reminder to subscribe to Saints Now by Chat Sports. Good, bad, or ugly, we got you covered no matter what. Here on the channel, live shows, watch parties, daily content by Saints fans, for Saints fans, 100% free. So subscribe today. Now, here's reason number 1. The future is bright in New Orleans. I believe they may have found their quarterback. They might have their answer. The question that has been asked since Drew Brees retired: who is the guy? We might have our answer. Nobody's building Tyler Shough a statue. Nobody's saying that he is the next great MVP. He's not going to win a ton of Super Bowls, blah, blah, blah. But they might have found their guy, at least for the foreseeable future. And I think that Tyler Shough is proving that he can win in the National Football League. I think he's proving that he's somebody worth building around. I think that he's proving he's the guy who should lead this offense over the next handful of seasons, at the bare minimum through his rookie contract, in my opinion. It's very clear that Tyler Shough should be the quarterback moving forward. And for that reason, I think that you can see that Tyler Shough at least might be the guy. You get to focus on building around him this offseason, which is way more fun than building and trying to find the quarterback. The Saints can focus on adding the positions that can maximize Tyler Shough: receivers, tight ends, guards, build on the defense, bring in more weapons, add another running back. I think that's huge for a rebuild. I think that's paramount to the success of a franchise, is finding the answer at the quarterback question. It's the most important position of football. In my opinion, one of the most important positions in all of sports. And so with Tyler Shough, they can focus on building around him. He's proved enough to at least be able to do that far moving forward. So now you can put the pieces in place to allow Tyler Shough to succeed. And if he doesn't, then you just go grab another quarterback in a couple of years. Now, I did just break down why Tyler Shough can be a franchise quarterback on our Monday live show. We go live every single Monday after Sunday game day. So make sure you tune in, subscribe, turn on your notifications. If you want to see it live, you tune in on Mondays. But I talked about why Tyler Shough can be the franchise quarterback, and I put out the video recently, so I highly encourage you to check that one out if you need to get some more reasons and optimism around Tyler Shough and why he can be the guy moving forward. Now, I think that another reason for optimism and why the future is bright in New Orleans, the young players are developing really well. Like, they look good. And I'm going to get further into this point in a moment. We're going to give a shout-out to today's presenting sponsor. That's Bubs Naturals. Bubs Means is on my mind because we're going to talk about Bubs Means in a second. But with Bubs Naturals, we're going to tell you about this product in a second. But the rookies are showing promise. I think that there's a lot of guys that you can see are developing well. I'm going to prove my point here in just 1 second. But today's show not sponsored by Bubs Means, but by Bubs Naturals. Collagen peptides. Guys, this is the best product. If you're feeling a little bit older, you got to feel younger. You'll feel better, and you'll be living a healthier lifestyle if you get on the Bubs Naturals collagen peptides. Getting older hits harder than you expect, right? One day you wake up with stiff joints. Recovery from the gym, it takes longer. Your hair is thinning, your nails are breaking, and your skin just doesn't have that same smooth glow anymore. These things happen because you're starting in your mid-20s. Your body naturally produces less collagen every single year. That's where Bubs Naturals Collagen Peptides come in. And it's super easy to use. Just mix Bubs into your coffee, smoothie, or juice each morning, and it's tasteless, it's odorless, and it dissolves instantly, so no clumps and no weird aftertaste. And what makes Bubs truly different, this brand is a tribute to former Navy SEAL Glenn "Bub" Doherty, a national hero who gave his life saving Americans in Benghazi. Glenn's call sign was Bub, and he was the kind of guy who always pushed for self-improvement and helped everyone around him. That DNA is woven into the Bubs brand, and to honor him, Bubs donates 10% of all profits to charity, starting with the Glenn Doherty Memorial Foundation. Live better longer. For a limited time, our listeners are getting 20% off at Bubs Naturals by using code CHAT at checkout. I personally love the product. I've been using it, been trying to get to the gym a little bit more, getting a little bit svelte, but the recovery, it's just not been the same. It's been taking a little bit longer, but like we told you a little bit ago, that's where Bubs Naturals Collagen Peptides came in. I'm feeling better. I'm feeling healthier. And Maddie and I both noticed a massive difference in our lifestyles and our health, and it's all thanks to these guys right here. So go support your health, go support the show, and go take care of yourself with Bubs Naturals. Live better longer for a limited time. Our listeners are getting 20% off at Bubs Naturals by using code CHAT at checkout. Just head to bubsnaturals.com and use code CHAT. That's code CHAT, and you're all set. After you make your purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. Please support Saints Now and tell them that we sent you. Click the link in the comments or description of this video to get started today. Now, with the rookies in New Orleans, I think that they're showing a lot of promise. I think that you can look at a lot of the young players, especially the guys who aren't rookies, and you can look around the roster and see that the young guys who are on rookie contracts or on the first year of their second contract are starting to really show some sparks. They're starting to take over. They're starting to develop and become really good football players. The youth takeover, in my opinion, is in full effect. I think with the players that are currently on the roster, there are a lot of guys that needed to have really important years as rookies. I think there's also a lot of guys who were thrown into the fire due to injuries or due to whatever the need was for the team. I think there's also a lot of guys who needed to have good years to show that they are players worth paying big money or bringing back to New Orleans. And there's been a lot of guys who have been impressively developing, in my opinion. I think rookie left tackle Kelvin Banks has been awesome. I think Tyler Shough has been good. I would like to see a little bit better production from him on the right tackle position, but I'm not going to slide him. We just didn't have enough space for the graphic. Juwan Johnson, in my opinion, has been really impressive in terms of his development. We all expected him to take a big leap. It started slow, but boy, is he really starting to turn our thing corner. He is really, really consistent. He's top 5 as a tight end in receiving production. Devin Neal has started to take over thanks to Kendre Miller and Alvin Kamara dealing with injuries. That stinks, but Devin Neal has been a bright spot. Devaughn Vele showing up in a big way. Chris Olave starting to put things together, and he is working on an extension with the Saints. And on the defensive side of the football, you see Kool-Aid McKinstry, Quincy Riley, Alontae Taylor. I think all 3 of those players are doing a really fine job. Alontae Taylor specifically starting to prove to the New Orleans Saints that he's worth investing. He's making plays when somebody needs to, and I know that it's not always consistent, but he has been fairly good in my opinion. Jonas Sanker thrown to the fire after Julian Blackmon suffered a season-long injury. He has been really, really fun to watch as a rookie. And Chase Young, ever since he returned from this team, from the calf injury, the defense has been red hot, and he has been an excellent player. And he is somebody who needed to be, considering the contract. And I got to say, it's been nice to have him on the field. And the Saints, in my opinion, they should invest in their young talent. I don't think there's anything wrong with paying young players who are productive and are contributors and have been known to help this team. I don't think there's anything wrong with developing and paying those guys. You've already put in the work. You've already put in the mileage. You already put in the time with them. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying, you know what, we are impressed with what you're doing. Here's a contract. I'm not saying overpay. I'm not saying spend the money like crazy, but I think that it is totally okay to invest in the players that you currently have. And that is okay to get rid of some of the guys that have been on the roster for some time. I think this is all about the future, not about the right now. Another thing, the future is bright. The defense, boy, they've been hot recently. They have been heating up. And I want to show a point that Ross Jackson pointed out. Thought this was really, really, really interesting. I've been even sitting here talking to Lopez on the watch parties. I'm like, man, like, not like they're perfect, but dude, the defense is starting to like really be impressive. Feels like they're stacking a couple of good weeks, and I might actually be onto something. Ross Jackson pointed it out. Since Chase Young was back in Week 6, Brandon Staley's defense. This was yesterday after the Sunday night or before the Sunday night game. Obviously, Monday Night Football has not been played at the time of filming this on Monday, 4 p.m. Central Time. Ross Jackson says the Saints defense since Chase Young has returned, 10th in total defense, 6th in passing defense. We're going to skip the run defense one. 9th in yards per rush attempt, 9th in sacks per dropback, 8th in third down conversion, and 4th in red zone touchdowns allowed. Staley starting to really cook. Again, I've made this point so many times. We got to get out with the old and in with the new. We have a lot of guys that were still Dennis Allen and Sean Payton's guys. We got to get those guys out of here. We got to get Staley and Kellen Moore's guys in, because I think that the vision for this defense and I think the vision for this offense and the roster as a whole, it's really starting to come together. But specifically for the defense, you can really start to see why some of these rookies were taken. I wish Vernon Broughton was healthy this year, because I feel like there's a lot of questions around him, and I really wanted to see why the Saints invested so highly in him. And I think that he was impressive in the preseason. But you can see the vision coming together. You can see the why behind some of these draft picks or these signings. It's starting to all make sense. The puzzle pieces are starting to kind of align. There's a lot of work to be done, but it's starting to get there. And with Brandon Staley, I think it's great news, because it's not like he's going to be getting head coaching buzz anytime soon. Like, I don't think any teams are going to be foaming at the mouth to go and hire him as a head coach. For what it's worth, I know he has experience, but it's not like the Saints defense has been insanely amazing. Like, they've been fine, and we've seen since Chase Young returned, they've been top 10 in a lot of categories. But, like, I don't think that there's any team that's out there desperate to hire Brandon Staley. Thus, they are not going to overly compensate and overly pursue Brandon Staley. So I think with the defense, they can continue to grow. They continue to take shape. They can continue to mold under Brandon Staley's vision and Kellen Moore's team. Like, I really think the future is bright, because it feels like the core of your coaching staff is really, really strong, and it doesn't seem like that's an area that's going to change anytime soon. Barring any drastic things happening, I don't see a world where Brandon Staley and Doug Nussmeier, they're getting sprinted to get hired. I just don't see it. Now, how would you rate the Saints defense? Madden style, 1 to 99. I would actually put it like an 80, 82, 83. Like, I'm not going to say they're amazing, but I'd say they're in the 80s. Maybe I'm wrong. What do y'all think? Sound off. All right, let's talk about why the future is bright. My final point, fourth and final point. This is a competitive and a resilient team. And I think that it's really interesting to look at what this roster has done since Kellen Moore has taken over. I think it's really interesting to look at what the team has done since Kellen Moore took over. And when you consider what the team does week in and week out compared to what they used to do, what used to happen? They used to get down, they would give up, and the game would be over. Once they got hit in the mouth, there wasn't a lot of punch back. They weren't swinging hard back at all. Maybe a few times here and there they'd make a play, but there wasn't a lot of comeback wins since Drew Brees is retired. Been a few, not a lot. But this team is competitive. They're resilient. They're tough. And until the bitter end, they are competing every single week. And I think that that's a testament to Kellen Moore's roster. I think it's a testament to his vision and to the why behind the construction of this team. I think it displays mental toughness. I think mental toughness is key to success, number one, to be honest. When it comes to being a good football team, you got to be mentally tough. You're going to face adversity. You're going to get hit in the mouth. You're going to lose. You're going to be behind in a game late. You got to find a way to win. You got to find a way to make it happen. And the Saints are starting to do that. And this is why I believe in Kellen Moore. Because it's him who is doing that. Kellen Moore changed this culture. Kellen Moore has veterans who could have easily requested a trade, easily requested to be released. There's plenty of guys on this roster that Kellen Moore did not have to keep around and did not have to stay around. And quite frankly, I don't know why they did. But they didn't care about wins and losses. They didn't care about winning a Super Bowl. They care more about building this thing back up and turning it into another great franchise. I believe in Kellen Moore for a lot of reasons. The biggest one is because of the culture he's building with this team. And I think it's really disappointing to see a lot of Saints fans get really frustrated with Kellen Moore and call for his job, say he needs to get fired, he needs to lose play calling duties. We live in a microwave society. What do I mean by that? We live in a world where people demand immediate results. I saw it one time happen, so I every single time it has to be like this, otherwise it sucks. I saw the Commanders turn it around in one season. They won like so many games. They made the playoffs, and they did all this great stuff. And look at them now. Year 2, it's not that great. I know they have things that they're dealing with, but, like, come on. Like, we live in a world where everyone is so demanding on the right now results that we're impatient to wait and see something truly great develop. And in my opinion, for those of y'all who like to smoke meats out there, for my fellow grill masters and my smoke masters, or my pit masters, if you will, the Saints are like a brisket. You got to cook them low and slow. You don't want to rush it. You don't need to sprint it. Let them marinate. Let them figure it out. Give them a year. And for what it's worth, the Saints have 4 pretty easy games remaining. Carolina at home. You already beat them. Jets at home. Titans on the road. Falcons on the road. You could see this team end up with 7 wins, which is crazy to say, but you could. And if that's the situation we live in, let the brisket cook low and slow, baby. Get the good char. Get the good bark on there. Let that flavor really seep in, because the New Orleans Saints are not going to turn around in 1 week. They were never going to turn around one season. Let Kellen Moore build this thing. Give it some time. Have a little bit of patience. I think year 2 is going to be really exciting. Year 3, we're going to be talking very, very highly about this football team. Now, when do you think will the Saints make the playoffs? Next year? They can't make it this year, obviously. They've already been eliminated. But do you think they can make it next year? Like, who's to say they can't win the division next year? We don't know what's going to happen yet in the offseason, but like, I think that next year they could win the playoff or win the division. I think in 2 years from now, it's certainly a conversation. What about you? When do you think these Saints will be a playoff team once again? Now, I want to remind you guys to subscribe to the channel. My name is Trizzy Trace Girouard. You're watching Saints Now by Chat Sports. I think that there's a lot of reasons for optimism and why Saints fans should be getting excited about the future of this team, and I just explained why. So if you agree with me, let me know in the comment section. If you disagree with me, tell me why. And don't forget to subscribe, hit the thumbs up icon, and y'all stay golden. We'll see you next time.